Right, fantastic. So, welcome to the Reveal and Tradebox webinar. I am Mark Donaldson. I'm CEO and founder of Reveal. This morning, I'm going to run through some top five top 50 tips for managing stage 50 and really mastering that e-commerce reporting side of things. So we do a lot of work here at Reveal. Reporting dashboard product. We do a lot of work with e-commerce businesses and Tradebox customers as well. So today we want to run through and share some of that knowledge with you. So I will just share my screen with you, and we can run through a quick presentation. Okay, so yeah, so. Who am I? Won't dwell on that. I'm an accountant. It's my background. Finance director, CFO background. Running a tech software business here in Norwich. And for me, it's all about data. It's all about accessing that data. What is a data-driven culture? Providing that data to the people that need it to make better business decisions. So you'll hear me cover that a good few times this morning, and hopefully you'll leave. The objective of today is to leave with some things that you can tweak, change in your Sage 50 to improve your reporting off the back of that, and potentially we're here to have a discussion as well. I will say there is a Q&A. Please do pop any questions as they come in. I'll try to address those at the end and run through. So so ultimately it's about that actionable change based on evidence. Why should large corporates just have access to this data to make them improve and drive performance? Your likes of Tesco's and Boots and your large multinationals. Actually, SMEs, in particular e-commerce businesses, are sitting on a wealth of data that allows you to sell more, make more profit, and understand what's going on in a more real time way. So I've got five key areas of focus here, which is first one in terms of understanding those your sales data and the trends, understanding the components of the profit, and I'll cover each of those in an individual section. Analyzing your products and those ranges ties into the rest in terms of what's selling and what's most profitable. Monitoring and tracking promotions, and understanding what's effective and what's ineffective, and learning from those, and ultimately providing that data-driven access to those insights to the people in the team that need it. So this is, and it may be a small team, but actually having that data provides you with a huge amount of power, a huge amount of knowledge to learn from for future activities, either be that products, be that promotions. It's all about understanding the information that you need that is most important to you and your business, and being able to share that to the team. So the first area I want to focus on is what are the sales trends. So just considering what products you're selling, who's buying them, in particular focusing on understanding the marketplace performances, so different channels, your Amazon, your eBay, and understanding which of those channels is performing, and it may be that different product ranges, and certainly different product ranges will work with different platforms better, and understanding that, because then you can focus more energy into selling a particular product on eBay, for example, that isn't selling as much on Amazon. And it may be, the competition's not there. It may be that the demographic of eBay purchasers is different to that of from Amazon, for example. So understanding the performance there and learning and trying to enhance those. For me, it's always about understanding it quickly, and then being able to adapt and respond to those changes quickly, and making those decisions. So we've all been there, where you have to wait for the finance team at the end of the month. 2 weeks after the end of the month, you find out the sales figures for the previous month. Well, some of those are 6 weeks out of date. This is about having your finger on the pulse, knowing what's going on, and being able to adapt quickly. So in terms of Sage 50, we obviously, the connection between Sage 50 and TradeBox is excellent, and we've been working with Stephen and the team on that, and with other customers as well. But there are some things that can obviously be done inside Sage 50 to try and help and enhance that reporting. One of those areas obviously is making sure all the products are in Sage, the configuration, basic configuration stuff, which obviously TradeBox and ourselves can help with. Ensuring product categories are not just set up, but also appropriate. I mean, everyone has product categories set up, but actually, do they allow you to slice and dice that data to produce any report that you need, to really understand what's going on inside those product categories. So often you kind of stick with the same ones, and I think it's just sort of stand back from it and go, okay, is that correct? Is that appropriate? Monitor quantities as well as pound stroke euro value. We do a lot around quantity reporting at Reveal, and that might be individual unit quantities, it might be kilograms of product, volume, tonnage, whatever it might be. Actually understanding quantities as well as pound value, especially with inflation the way it's been over the past 18 months. Quantities is obviously, teachers suck eggs, but quantities is actually you can kid yourself by looking at the pound value sometimes, that certain things are performing really well, but actually if the price has gone up, then looking at those volumes takes away that inflation anomaly. Probably the biggest Sage 50 tip is the use of departments and analysis fields, and I'll come on to analysis fields shortly, but being able to attach to, in this instance, the customer record. You've got 6 analysis fields in Sage 50 now. There's 3 in some of the older versions, but the most recent versions, the last 2 years, have got 6 analysis fields. I think it's version 29 onwards. And that allows you to take a customer, which may be an end user customer, but you may have channels set up as customers. And you can then slice and dice those further down. So it's a way of attaching to a record some further analysis fields, which allow you to then chop and slice that up. I'll come more into that on the product side. Customers is always slightly tricky in terms of eCommerce. It depends on the configuration, but certainly there's those analysis fields allow you to pull that through. Then the next area is profitability, and understanding having those costings against each product. Now, Sage 50, there's the sort of last cost, average cost dynamic inside Sage 50. Understand what is how that's working, what method is most appropriate to your business, and it does change between businesses, and this is something we get into discussion with. But once you've understand the components of profit and allocating those costs correctly, it's then around tracking that profitability. So not just knowing profit by product, but actually grouping it up by profit by product category, or looking at the gross margin that's generated from it. So it could be gross margin percentage, but it also could be the actual gross contribution. So it's all very well having a 95% gross margin, but if you only sell 1 unit of it for £5, that's not very great, as opposed to a product that might have a 45% margin that you're making £250,000 a year off of profit. So understanding a percentage and contribution is huge, but understanding it quickly and easily at a click of a button. That's obviously where we come in. So I've also put on there in terms of channel and region and location. Again, that's using the analysis fields within the products, you may be able to distinguish between different locations, but also from a channel perspective. If you're selling on different eBays, different Amazons, whatever, in terms of locations, you can then start to pull those out as well. And obviously, I appreciate some businesses here are all 100% e-commerce only businesses, but there's also a mix of e-commerce and those traditional channels. And understanding, traditionally you would expect the margin to be higher on those in those e-commerce because of the reduction, the lack of overheads attributed to that. But actually being able to compare the whole business and look at the whole business and understand the dynamic and the differences between the e-commerce and the traditional kind of bricks and mortar approach. Understanding and analysing the products and ranges is probably the most valuable area. And using those product analysis fields, there's 3 product analysis fields that you can use in the older versions of Sage, just 6 in the most recent. Being able to, that may be carton size, that may be attributed to individual products. It could be the location of where it could be the location of where you're purchasing it from. So if you are importing products in from China, you might want to add that into your product analysis fields, which helps with your buying decisions, and then you can understand that actually X% of your business you are now buying in from China, and you can monitor that and understand the dynamic of UK produced goods versus importing from external, all by tagging that individual product with the information that's important to you. I can't sit here and tell you obviously what's most important to you, but those fields available to you are certainly worth just standing back, spending 5 minutes at the end of this this webinar and just thinking, okay, have we got that set up right? Write down some notes and then kind of get your mind thinking that through. Understanding sales volumes, which I covered that already. Which products are being sold, which are declining. So not just focusing on those that are increasing, but look at which are declining. Look at as fashions change. You may be an online retailer of I don't know, beachwear or something that does have fashionable changes every year, and just monitoring those and looking at that sort of product life cycle and actually seeing the trend coming off on the product. So crucially there at the end, who is buying and which products and ranges. So not necessarily that Mrs. Goggins has bought a certain product, but it's more about which channels are buying, and then you can then target into those, or you might realize that you're selling a particular product through one channel more than on another channel, and actually that experimentation of, okay, well, we're selling a huge amount through eBay of whatever product, actually flip that over and test into Amazon. So in terms of that, there's kind of that experimentation, but experimentation with backed up by data, and that is crucial, and understanding those promotions that you do. So a bit like in terms of understanding experiments, promotions are often that. One tip I've got is to use projects inside Sage 50. The project reporting natively isn't fantastic. We do a huge amount around projects. So actually helping, if you monitor and track promotions inside Sage 50, you can allocate the invoices, the purchase invoices against it. You can make charges and cost allocations against that. that promotion, you can then see how much you've spent on a particular promotion versus obviously with the impact that that's had on sales. You can set start and end dates. It's all then logged inside Sage, so you can go back and compare previous promotions, Black Friday promotion or whatever it may be, from previous years, and see what impact it had, see what spend you spent on the promotion, see what advertising spend was, see what your your online Google AdWords costs were. If you allocate those to the individual promotions within Sage 50 under projects, you can then track back and look at the effectiveness of each campaign. So that's certainly an area that I think you can really utilize Sage 50 on. And lastly, the last point is really about sharing that information. So it's not necessarily it is a Sage 50 tip, but it's about sharing that information and reacting to it. So here we've got Lewis Hamilton in his Formula One car. Okay, he is able to respond to the analytics that he has provided very quickly, very instantly. Here, this example, low speed corners. He's ranking 5th. He's scoring 9 out of 10. He's losing 0.2 seconds. He's understeering through low speed corners. Well, being able to provide him that information instantly allows him to go and make those changes, make better decisions, and ultimately lead to improved results, and not just get to the end of the race, finishing way down the grid, but actually he can adapt his style and adapt the information. So it's all very well the pit wall knowing this information, but the crucial thing is getting it to the guy who's driving the car. So providing the information to the person who can make the difference is the point here. So it's all very well knowing this information at potentially a high level, but actually empowering sales teams, empowering digital marketing teams, marketing, advertising teams to make better use of that data. As I said at the very start, why should the large corporates have access to all this data? SMEs sit on a huge amount of data. It's very valuable and can add so much to your businesses. I would like to kind of open up into any questions there. So I can see, I promised it wouldn't be a long webinar there. Let me just have a look at some of the questions. So so are these reports dependent on producing invoices and purchase orders within Sage? No. So we pull, so in terms of if you're talking about the reveal reporting, we pull the reporting through from Sage from the audit trail. So whatever information has been posted into the audit trail. Now, sometimes that information can be on a summarized basis, so it comes through a kind of individual. You can either do it sort of summarized or at line item level. We can unpick some of that. I think the crucial thing is making sure that we can get the product information out of there. So I don't know if that helps answer that question. I can always follow up afterwards if that's of help. Yeah, okay. So in terms of another question here, in terms of how we work with businesses. So Reveal connects to Sage 50. It's a seamless connection, so it automatically produces, brings through the information on from within Sage 50 and pre-populates all of the graphs and analytics that I've been talking about today. So sales analysis, P&L, projects, cash, debtors, creditors, all of those things are held within Reveal. I didn't want it to be too much of a sales pitch in terms of kind of providing that information, but yes, we automatically suck the information out of Sage. We don't suck in it. Just looking at another question there, we don't pull information from TradeBox. All the information comes from within Sage 50. So I think that goes back to the first question there in terms of producing invoices and POs within Sage. any other questions, please do pop them on if there's anything there. Not seeing anything out yet. Okay, so what is the best way you've found of reporting against your channels, Amazon, eBay? Analysis fields are using customers. We currently use customers for this. Yeah, so it depends on the setup of the business, to be honest. If often people do have, as you say, the customers set up as Amazon or eBay. Actually, that's fine, because we can delve into individual customers. So the customer record is incredibly powerful. We can pull that information and then get into all the product information, and from there. What was the alternative? So the analysis fields or using customers. Yeah, so you would attach the analysis fields to the customer record. So for a customer level, I think you're right to have channels. That's generally what we see is the channels set up, because what you don't want is all the individuals set up inside Sage. I hope that answers the question. Are you compatible with other versions of Sage? Yes. So we go back to the last 12 years worth of Sage 50, assuming you mean Sage 50. We do also connect with Sage Accounting, which is on the smaller end. We also are just about to launch our Sage 200 product to the market in the next kind of 6 to 8 weeks. Any other questions? There's another one coming there. Do we connect with Xero? Yes, we're just in the final approval process with Xero. Watch this space. We're expecting that to go live in March. So we've been in the 3-month approval process with Xero, but that's coming to the market very, very soon. So watch this space on that. Happy again to pick up after the call on that. Any other questions? Nothing. There's nothing coming through. My contact details are on screen. Please do reach out. Drop me a line if there's any questions or anything comes up afterwards. You will receive a copy of this presentation by email after the recording's uploaded. You also receive a copy of the slides, and we've also got an exclusive offer for all TradeBox customers as well, which is running throughout February. So we'll forward details of that onto you as well. Happy to answer any questions. There's nothing else has come. Oh no, sorry, there is another one. Other reports standard, off the shelf, or custom written? Very good point. I didn't cover that. Thank you. The reports, we have a mix. So we have a standard off the shelf package, base pack, which is £50 a month for the business. That's for Sage 50. That provides you with lots of sales analysis and products, cash, P&L, balance sheet, cash flow, those sorts of things. We then have a marketplace which allows you to go and purchase additional off-the-shelf dashboards. We also have a team here writing bespoke dashboards for individuals. But there's no requirement on that, and we're happy to have that conversation, and that's on a consulting sort of basis. So yeah, we kind of cover all three really. There's a standard base pack supported by marketplace dashboards, because it might be that you don't need the projects modules, in which case you don't pay for them. And then we've then got a bespoke team that we can build anything. So it really is any report that you may need, we're able to do. Does that help answer that question? Good. Okay. There's no other questions coming through. I'd just like to say thank you for everybody's time this morning. I've tried to keep it as brief as possible. We'll send out the information afterwards, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much, everybody.